All right, welcome to the broadcast, everyone. Welcome back for another KCK Blue Devils baseball game. They welcome across town, actually, the Johnson County Cavaliers. We're going to get the starting lineups ready for you, do a little audio check, and the audio check comes through. So we'll be back in a couple minutes with the starting lineups. All right, welcome back, everyone. Glad to have you join us this afternoon on the campus of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Blue Devils. They welcome across town the Johnson County Cavaliers for the final four-game series of the season. The east side of the KJCCC baseball standings are as follows. Johnson County. Now, these are as of games that some of the games were played yesterday. So Johnson County and KCK only have 28 games in this, but Johnson is still atop with 25-3 record. With 30 games in, Cali is in second with a 25-5 record. KCK is in third place with only 28 games in, 23-5 record. The rest of these, except for Allen County, have 30 games in. So Fort Scott is 18-12 in fourth place. Neosho's in fifth place with a 14-16 record. And in sixth place is Coffeyville with 11-19 record. Allen County, they have all 32 of their games in. They ended the year with an 8-24 record. In eighth place is Highland with 5. Actually tied for eighth is Highland and Labette with 5-25 records. So currently at the top of the east side is Johnson County with a 25-3 record with 28 games listed so far. On the west side, Hutchinson is in first with a 27-5 record. In second place is Cloud, and Hutchinson has all 32 of their games in. Cloud with only 28 games in, they're 20-8 in second. Dodge City with 30 games in is in third with a 19-11 record. Butler is in fourth place with 28 games registered with a 17-11 record. Barton has 30 games in. They're 17-13 in fifth place. Seward is in sixth place with a 16-14 record, and that is who KCK would play at home if the standings on both the east and the west side stayed the same. In seventh place is Colby with a 9-21 record. In eighth place is Pratt after 30 games in, 7-23, and then Garden City is in ninth with a 2-28 record. So Labette and Garden City would not currently make the playoffs, either one. There could be a difference between the Highland and Labette on who would be get that last playoff spot on the east side. So Hutchinson in first of that. So let's quickly meet the starting lineup, see if I've got time to do that real quick before the PA starts and we get the anthem going here in a little bit. First for the Johnson Cavaliers, leading off in left field, Jake McClure. Batting second, the shortstop, Maddox Fleck. Batting third, the second baseman, Jack Mosh. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, Dagan Brewer. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Mike Miller. Batting sixth, the catcher, Carl Kilgore. Batting seventh, the right fielder, Riker Edwards. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Jordan Black. Batting ninth, the center fielder, Jesse Tisdale. And the pitcher on the mound is Ryan Borberg. So it'll be McClure, Fleck, Mosh, Brewer, Miller, Kilgore, Edwards, Black, and Tisdale. Just very briefly, let's run through the starting lineup for your KCK Blue Devils. Leading off, the second baseman, Peyton Basler. Batting second, the shortstop, Gary Goldbeck. Batting third, the catcher, Brady Patterson. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, Frankie Santiago. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Freddie Nolan the fourth. Batting sixth, in right field, Marcus Dirks. And batting seventh, the designated hitter, Levi Martin. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Austin Burrows. And batting ninth, Brady Kern in center field, with McLean Finley on the mound. So it'll be Basler, Goldbeck, Patterson, Santiago, Nolan the fourth, Dirks, Martin, Burrows, and Kern, with Finley on the mound. That's the starting lineups. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with the start of this one. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. We'll have some baseball shortly. All right, welcome to the broadcast, everyone. Sunshiny day as opposed to the way it was yesterday, and the reason for moving the game to today. Tomorrow looks a little bit like some showers, but we've got sunshine, and the flag is pretty much hanging straight down here at the campus of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Blue Devils. On the mound for the Blue Devils will be McLean Finley. He's from Topeka, Kansas. He has a 1.77 ERA and a 10-1 record. He will toe the slab for the Blue Devils against the Johnson Cavaliers today. The defense behind him will be Nolan the fourth, Kern and Dirks left to right across the outfield. Burrows, Goldbeck, Basler, Santiago across the infield with Patterson behind the plate. And Finley is on the mound. The defense behind him, as listed, McClure, Fleck, and Mosh will be the first Cavaliers scheduled up to face Finley, and off we go. McClure will step in. McClure is the left fielder. McClure starts the day batting .343. He'll step in to face Finley. Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for joining me. Low and outside that first pitch. 1-0 the count. Little bit of a breeze blowing in from right field right now. There's a strike called on the outside corner. So 1-1 the count. Strike called on the inside corner. So 1-2 the count on Jake McClure, the left fielder for the Cavaliers. That's outside, 2-2 the count now. The wind in the pitch from Finley. There's a little hit toward the left side of the field, and charging across is Burrows and over to Santiago for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Maddox Fleck. Fleck is the shortstop. Fleck starts the day batting .367. He'll step in with one out and nobody on. Swing and a miss of that first pitch. 0-1 the count. That stays outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here in the top of the first, early action. First game is a 7-inning scheduled game. Squares to bunt. The bunt is down. Finley out to grab it and throw down to Santiago for the 1-3 bunt out. And that's going to bring up the second baseman, Mosh. Mosh starts the day batting an even .400. Third straight lefty in the lineup for the Cavaliers. That's down low. 1-0 the count. Comes the 1-0. There's a ball headed into left field. And Nolan the fourth takes care of that. So a couple of ground outs and a fly out. And we go to the bottom half of the first inning. Blue Devils get their first chance. We'll be back. To the bottom of the first inning we go. The pitcher on the mound today for the Cavaliers, Ryan Borberg. He's from Shawnee Mission, Kansas. He has a 3.88 ERA and an 8-1 record on the season. Defense behind him will be across the outfield, left to right, McClure, Tisdale, Edwards. Across the infield, Black, Fleck, Mosh, and Brewer. And Kilgore behind the plate. That's the defense behind Ryan Borberg. Blue Devils will send up Basler, Goldbeck, and Patterson. Both teams with 25 wins in the conference. They are 25-3 as Johnson and KCK with a 23-5 record. That's going to bring up Basler. Basler will get things started for the Blue Devils here. Basler starts the day. The high fly ball down the right field side. And didn't get my camera switched in time. Basler starts the day batting .308, and he pops out. That's going to bring up Goldbeck. Goldbeck starts the day batting .448. He'll step in to face Borberg. There's a strike right through there. One out, 0-1 the count on Goldbeck. There's a strike called inside half of the plate at the waist. Greg, not a fan of that call right there, but nonetheless, 0-2 the count on Gary Goldbeck. That's down a little bit low. 1-2 the count. Cavaliers went 1-2-3 in the top half. Blue Devils 1 out here in the bottom half. Goldbeck at the plate. That's up high. So from 0-2 to 2-2 is Goldbeck. The wind in the pitch from Borberg. There's a ball headed into center field. Center fielder Tisdale takes care of that for the second out. That's going to bring up Patterson. Patterson starts the day batting .314. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on. There's a strike outside half of the plate at the waist. 0-1 the count. The ball headed into left field. And a 2-out base hit for Brady Patterson. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago starts the day batting .359. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at first base. It's a high fly ball that's going to head over toward the woods. So 0-1 the count on the first baseman, Frankie Santiago. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. So quickly 0-2 the count on Santiago. So ground ball headed at the first baseman, Brewer. Grabs it, steps on the bag. So no runs on, 1 hit for the Blue Devils. We go to the top of the second inning, no score. All right, to the top of the second we go. Brewer, Miller, and Kilgore scheduled up for the Cavaliers. Brewer, the first baseman. First pitch to him is a strike. Brewer starts the day batting .423. 0-1 the count from Finley to Brewer. So ground ball headed at Basler. He's up with it and over to Santiago for the 4-3 ground out.
Next up to the age number 26, Mike Miller.
That's going to bring up Mike and Miller, the designated hitter. Miller starts the day batting .397. There's a high chopper down towards Santiago and is foul. 0-1 the count on Mike and Miller. It's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. There's a ground ball. 1 hopper that short hops to Basler. Didn't have a chance to move forward or backwards on that. That's going to be an error on Basler at second base. That's going to bring up Cal Kilgore, the catcher. Kilgore starts the day batting .420. He's up there with a runner at first. Little toss over to first. Nothing going on over there. There's a strike at the knees outside half of the plate. 0-1 the count. Comes the 0-1 from Finley. That's low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Runner at first is Miller. There's a strike, catches the outside corner at the knees. So 1-2 the count. Strike 3 called, catches the outside corner at the waist. So a ground out, a reach by air, and a punch out, and there's 2 outs, a runner at first. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Riker Edwards. Edwards starts the day batting .409. Steps in with a runner at first base and 2 outs. Way outside. 1-0 the count. Comes the stretch and the 1-0. Swinging a miss of that breaking ball. 1-1 the count now. Welcome to Thursday afternoon baseball on Friday. Here comes the 1-1 over to first. A little toss back in safely is Miller. In the dirt, And safe at second. Looked like he had him, but called second. So a stolen base by Miller. 2-1 the count. That pitch was a little bit low. 2-1 the count with 2 outs. There's a strike. The belt outside half the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the second inning, top of the second. In game, second one will be at 9. The Blue Devils will travel just a little bit south tomorrow for the final 2 games of this 4-game series. 2 today, 2 tomorrow. It's a high chopper to Goldbeck. He's up with it, and a high throw. So a couple of errors in the inning, and the Cavaliers are on the board with a 1-0 lead. That'll bring up the third baseman, Jordan Black. Black starts the day batting .361. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at first. Toss over to first. Back in safely is Edwards. There's a 1-hopper hit at Basler. Basler took that as it came over the top of the umpire on a short hop over to Santiago for the final out of the inning. The Cavaliers get 1 run on no hits. We go to the bottom of the first. Blue Devils trailing 1-0. I'll be back. I said first, didn't I? I was looking at the dadgum one that they scored. Believe I said the top of the first at the end of the inning. Actually, the bottom of the second. Nolan the fourth, Dirks and Martin scheduled up. Nolan the fourth will step in. Nolan the fourth starts the day batting .316. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. 0-1 the count on the left fielder, Nolan the fourth. Foul ball headed over to the soccer field, so quickly 0-2 the count. Borberg head in the count on Nolan the fourth. The ball headed to left field and on the run, and the catch is made by the left fielder. Nice running catch by McClure. Nolan the fourth sent him a long way, but out on a fly. That's going to bring up Dirks. Dirks will step in with 1 out and nobody on. Dirk starts the day batting .407. There's a strike on the inside corner at the knees. He's up there with one out and nobody on. It's a fly ball headed into left field. And that's going to be taken care of by McClure for the second out of the inning.
Now at the DH, number 34, Levi Martin.
That'll bring up Levi Martin. Martin starts the day batting .319. He'll be up there 2 outs. Breaking ball breaks outside. 1-0 the count. Kilgore, the battery mate of Borberg, behind the plate. There's a breaking ball. Looked decent enough to be a strike right there, but ruled outside. 2-0 the count. I agree with it being outside, but typically the plates are that wide. There's a strike right through there, inside half of the plate, so the breaking ball on the inside part of the plate, 2-1 the count. There's a breaking ball, catches the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. So a couple of flyouts and a strikeout. We go to the top of the third inning. The Cavaliers leading the Blue Devils 1-0. Yep. All right, to the top of the third we go. Blue Devils trailing 1-0 to the crosstown rivals, Southtown rivals, the Johnson Cavaliers. Tisdale, McClure, and Flex scheduled up. Tisdale squares to bunt, and that's going to be foul. Tisdale starts the day batting .286 with the foul bunt attempt there. 0-1 the count. In on the fist, got out in front of that over to the end of the Blue Devils dugout. So quickly 0-2 the count. On the center fielder, Jesse Tisdale. That's high and inside. 1-2 the count. Top of the third inning action. Cavaliers up 1-0. There's a little check swing to the right side and nice charging play by Basler for the bare hand and the sidearm throw over to Santiago for the 4-3 ground out.
Next up, the left fielder, number 17, Jake McClure.
It's going to bring up McClure. McClure is from Gardner, Kansas. He'll step in with one out and nobody on. That's up high. He grounded out to Burrows at third base his first time up. It's a ground ball. Diving play by Basler. Basler diving and sliding out into right field. They've got the extra apron with some artificial turf, but that was out into the outfield for the 4-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Fleck. Fleck is from Omaha, Nebraska. He'll step in with 2 outs now and nobody on. He bunted and was out. That's up high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Finley off the mound and down to Santiago to retire Fleck the first time. Fleck's the shortstop. There's a ball foul just wide of the bag down there. One ball, one strike, 2 outs here. Just a little bit low outside half of the plate. 2-1 the count. Comes the wind and the 2-1. There's a ball headed into left field. It's going to be a 2-out base hit by Fleck into left field. That's going to bring up Mosh.
Next up, the second baseman, number 37, Jack Mosh.
It's going to bring up Mosh. He's from Kansas City, Missouri.
So for the press box and the softball, how far can you see?
Little flinch like he was maybe going to go and then come back and was safe is Fleck. Another toss over, back in safely. Mosh flew out to Nolan the fourth in left field, his first time up.
Have you ever caught a home run signal as an home run?
There's 1-0 the count, low and outside. A little bit outside, 2-0 the count. Jack Mosh, the second baseman for the Cavaliers. It's going to be foul ball down the left field line. Two balls and a strike.
So just take the base. Anyone can get another in this way.
You also want to challenge the
That misses outside, 3-1 the count. I think this is the first time in the game that Finley's had a 3-ball count. Down 3-1 the count to Mosh. Runner goes. And the base on balls. That's going to bring up Brewer. Brewer is from Topeka, Kansas. 2 outs, 2 on. Top of the third inning action. Brewer grounded out to Basler at second his first time up. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Outside. 1-1 the count. One run in so far by the Cavaliers. That happened in the second inning. Blue Devils with a couple of errors in that inning aided the Cavaliers. Here comes the 1-1 that's in the dirt and blocked nicely by Patterson. 2 balls and a strike. Low and outside. Three balls, 1 strike. So back-to-back hitters that have gone 3-1 with Finley. Runners go. And strike 2, but the stolen bases by Fleck and Mosh. Patterson did not go ahead and uncork the throw down to third. I kind of changed my eyes to second to see if they would throw to the behind runner. So I'm not sure if Burrows was late getting there, if he just didn't think he could get him. That stayed up high for a base on balls. So that's going to load things up for Mike and Miller. Miller is from Otsego, Minnesota. Swing and a miss of that first pitch, 0-1 the count. Miller reached on an error by Basler at second his first time up and had a stolen base. Bases loaded, full of Cavaliers, 0-1 the count with 2 outs. Just missed a little bit outside. 1-1 the count. There's a ball headed to deep left field. That's going to be over. That's going to score 3 runs and a double by Miller, and Miller unloads the bases with a double. So that's going to make it a 4-0 game, and that's going to bring up Kilgore, the catcher.
Next up, the catcher, number 31, Kilgore.
Kilgore is from Overland Park, Kansas. He'll step in with a runner at second base and 2 outs. Low and outside, 1-0 the count. So a base hit and a couple of base on balls, followed by a double to unload the bases, makes it a 4-0 game. There's a breaking ball, catches the strike zone on the outside part of the plate. 1-1 the count, 2 outs, runner at second, 3 runs in the inning to make a total of 4 for the Cavaliers. That's down low. 2-1 the count. Popped him up right here behind, and that play is made by Patterson. So 3 runs on 2 hits, making it 4-0 as the Blue Devils come to bat here in the bottom of the third. I'll be back. All right, to the bottom of the third we go. Blue Devils trail 4-0. Burrows, Kern, and back to the top of the order, and Basler scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Bottom of the third inning action. Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it. Austin Burrows will step in for his first look-see at the pitcher Borberg. There's a strike. Breaking ball catches the outside corner. Burrows starts the day batting 200 even. 1-1 the count on him. Took over the duties at third base with the illness of Mervosh. There's a breaking ball, misses outside. 2-1 the count. It's a high chopper toward third, and gonna be ruled foul. Don't know if he didn't touch it on purpose or if he didn't touch it trying to grab it, but a high chopper in black charged and it went foul. So 2-2 the count on Burrows. Burrows leading off the bottom of the third for the Blue Devils. Way outside, so 3-2 the count now. Austin Burrows at the plate. He's the third baseman. So ground ball headed at the shortstop Fleck. Fleck up with it and over to Brewer for the 6-3 ground out. That'll bring up Kern.
Next up, the center fielder, number 6, Brady Kern.
Kern will step in with an out and nobody on. Kern starts the day batting .322. That's up just a bit. 1-0 the count. Wind in the 1-0. There's a ground ball past the third baseman off his glove, and extra bases for Brady Kern. And Kern cruises into second base for the double. Into the corner down there. So 1 out and back to the top of the order, and Basler. Basler will step in with a runner at second base and 1 out. Basler is from Lansing, Kansas. He steps in with 1 out and 1 on. That's a little bit low, 1-0 the count. Basler popped out to the Second baseman Mosh down the first base line in foul territory. His first time up. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Blue Devils looking for their first run. Basler hoping to deliver this right here, but getting a hit out onto the grass. There's a ball headed into center field, right center, shallow right. I wasn't getting any of that right, and that play made by second baseman made the play. I looked down trying to get a camera change and didn't get that, so that's going to bring up Gary Goldbeck. Goldbeck is from Kansas City, Kansas. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Takes a strike at the belt outside half of the plate. Goldbeck flew out to Tisdale in right center his first time up. 0-1 the count on him. Check swing, ruled outside a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike on the shortstop of the Blue Devils, Garrett Goldbeck. So ball headed down the line into right field. That's going to be foul. One and two the count now. Kern back to second base. Goldbeck back to the plate. Borberg back to the mound. 1 and 2 the count. That's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Each team with 2 hits. Swing and a miss of that breaking ball to finish the inning. So the Blue Devils get no runs on 1 hit. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Blue Devils trailing the Cavaliers of Johnson 4-0. All right, to the top of the 4th we go. Edwards, Black, and Tisdale scheduled up. Want to know the count on Edwards. There's a strike called. So 1-1 the count. Edwards is from Smithville, Missouri. He reached on an error by Goldbeck his first time up. Swing and a miss of that pitch. 1-2 the count now. That's low and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Blue Devils trailing by 4 here in the top of the 4th. First game is a 7-inning scheduled affair. Comes the 2-2. It's a ground ball at Burrows, and Burrows across to Santiago for the 5-3 ground out of Edwards. That's going to bring up Jordan Black.
No, number 21, Jordan Black.
Black is from Shawnee Mission, Kansas. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on to face Finley. There's a strike right down Broadway right there, 0-1 the count. Black grounded out to Basler at second base, his first time up. Little check swing ruled. A ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Little ball off the fist and down to the feet. Nolan the 4th, Kern and Dirks in the outfield from left to right for the Blue Devils. Burrows, Golbeck, Basler, Santiago across the infield with Patterson behind the plate. That's the defense behind McLean Finley. He's from Topeka, Kansas. Comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Swinging a foul into the glove held by Patterson for the out. It's going to bring up Tisdale. Tisdale is from Choctaw, Oklahoma. He'll be up there with 2 outs and nobody on. That misses just a bit. 1-0 that count. He was out on a ground ball to Basler. Basler had to charge hard. There's a ball at Burrows, a high chopper. Burrows loads up his rifle and shoots it over to Santiago for the 5-3 ground out. So a couple of ground outs to third base and a strikeout. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Blue Devils trail by 4. All right, to the bottom of the 4th we go. Borberg back for another inning of work. Brady Patterson will step in to lead things off. Patterson is from Auburn, Kansas. He'll step in to lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th. He had a base hit to left field his first time up, and there's a base hit into left field past the diving Black at third base. So a base hit, back-to-back base hits by Patterson. He's on there with nobody out. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago is from Calle, Puerto Rico. Toss over to first. Back in safely is Patterson. Misses outside to Santiago. Santiago grounded out unassisted to Brewer his first time up. 1-0 the count on him. That's up a little bit high. Borberg back for his fourth inning of work for the Cavaliers. Foul ball back to the screen. McClure, Tisdale, Edwards left to right across the outfield. The defense behind Borberg, Black, Fleck, Mosh, and Brewer across the infield with Kilgore behind the plate. There's a ball headed into right field. Patterson is going to be held at second base. So back-to-back base hits, and the Blue Devils have got runners at first and second with nobody out for Freddie Nolan, the fourth.
Now batting the left fielder, number 22, Freddie Nolan.
Nolan, the fourth, the left fielder, he flew out to McClure in left field his first time up. It's a high pop up on the infield. That's going to be an infield fly, but Mosh is going to come in and let it hit. So now it's a foul ball. Yes, infield fly if the ball is fair, and it was not fair. So Nolan, the fourth, gets, I don't think I've ever seen it either, but the call is infield fly if fair. And the ball hit and went foul on the infield. So Nolan, the fourth, with an opportunity to make the Cavaliers pay here. 0-1 the count. That misses a little bit high end or outside, not sure which. So Mosh comes in to take care of that, but when it hits the turf, it gets foul before he can touch it. So 1-1 the count. There's a foul ball that's going to be out of play over into the woods. So 1-2 the count. On the left fielder, Freddie Nolan, the fourth. There's a ball headed down the right field line, and that's going to be into the bullpen area of the Cavaliers. So Nolan, the fourth, will have another 1-2 count. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. Back-to-back hits by Patterson and Santiago, and that's way outside. That's going to be a wild pitch, and the runners are going to move up. Way outside, not much of a chance to get to that at all by Kilgore. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners on. Blue Devils would like to get on the board here. There's a ball headed up the middle, and the only play is going to be over to first. So that's a 6-3 ground out that will yield a run. Fleck over to Brewer. So the Blue Devils get a run on that base hit. That's going to bring up Dirks. Dirks is from Kansas City, Kansas. He takes a strike. There's a ball headed into right field, and Dirks is going to have an RBI base hit. Right out into right field, and the Blue Devils have scored 2 here now to make it 4-2 while they bat here in the bottom of the fourth. That's going to bring up Martin. Martin is from Olathe, Kansas. He'll step in with a runner at first and 1 out. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. 0-1 the count. 1 out. Runner at first base is Dirks. Little toss over. Dirks back in safely. Foul ball down to the turf and off the foot of the catcher. Foot of the hitter. 0-2 the count now on Levi Martin, the designated hitter for the Blue Devils. He struck out his first time up. Down 0-2 in the count here. That's up high. 1-2 the count. Little toss over to first, back in safely is Dirks. Bottom of the fourth inning action. Blue Devils scored 2 so far in the inning. Another toss over and back in safely is Dirks. That's low and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at first base is Dirks. He had an RBI base hit. Runner goes. And safe into second with the stolen base is Dirks. So 3-2 the count. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Martin at the plate. Dirks now at second base. Foul ball back into the net, so we'll do the 3-2 again. Sunshiny day here on the campus of Kansas City, Kansas Community College Blue Devils. The Johnson County Cavaliers traveled up the road just a bit for this 2-game series today. There's a foul ball back into the screen. The Cavaliers currently in first place. The Blue Devils currently in third. Playoffs start next Thursday. Check swing ruled a ball inside. So they do appeal, and it's ruled a ball. So 1 out, runners at first and second. We're going to get a visit from the pitching coach of the Cavaliers. We're going to take a short break. Blue Devils trailing 4-2 with 2 on and 1 out. I'll be back. All right, the visit is over to the mound. No change at the time. John Chambers is warming up down in the bullpen for the Cavaliers. Burrows steps in. Burrows grounded out to Fleck it short his first time up. Burrows is from Pickrell, Nebraska. 2-0 now the count on him. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Runners at first and second for the Blue Devils, Dirks and Martin. There's a strike right through there. 2-1 the count now. There's a high fly ball into left field. That's going to be taken by the center fielder, Tisdale. So that's going to make 2 outs now, runners at first and second. That's going to bring up Brady Kern. Kern will step in. Kern is from Lawrence, Kansas. He had a double off the glove of Black at third base his first time up. That's ruled inside ball 1. 1-0 the count. 1-0 the count. 2 outs, 2 on, 2 runs in so far. Blue Devils now trail 4-2. There's a little check swing going toward the shortstop, and Fleck charges hard and over to Brewer for the 6-3 ground out. The Blue Devils get 2 runs on 3 hits. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Blue Devils trailing 4-2. We'll be back. All right, back to the top of the order. McClure, Fleck, and Mosh scheduled up. Foul ball back to the screen by McClure. McClure grounded out to Burrows his first time up. Second time up, diving play into the outfield by Basler, and that time he hits it more through the hole to where Basler can't go rob him of the base hit. So a base hit, lead-off base hit. That's going to bring up Fleck. Fleck will step in. He was out on a bunt to the pitcher his first time up and had a base hit to left field his second time up. Little throw over to first, back in safely is McClure. McClure, the original leadoff hitter, the left fielder for the Cavaliers. That's high. Want to know the count? Maddox Fleck, the shortstop at the plate. Top of the 5th inning action. 7-inning scheduled game. That's low and outside. 2-0 the count. Just a little past halfway on this one. There's a strike outside corner. 2-1 the count. McClure at first base. He led things off in this inning with a base hit to right field. Little toss over. Burrows in on the grass at third base, a full step before he even starts creeping forward. Anticipating a bunt here by Fleck. That misses a little bit outside. So 3-1 the count. Runner goes, and a nice play by. That's going to be a base hit, an infield hit as the runner was breaking toward second. Golbeck started to go over toward the bag and ends up going back, but that's going to keep the runner at second base, but back-to-back hits by the Cavaliers. That's going to bring up Mosh. Mosh, the second baseman. We're going to get a visit to the mound. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Blue Devils trailing 4-2, top of the fifth inning action. All right, the words of wisdom have been imparted. It's going to bring up Mosh. He's been out on a fly to left field and reached on a base on balls and stole a base. Squares to bunt and misses. See how the defense is going to rotate here by the Blue Devils. Patterson out with some signs as to how they're going to handle this bunt attempt if they stay with it. Comes the 0-1, and that's inside. Almost hit him, 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Runners at first and second for the Cavaliers. Squares to bunt, and that's up and into the screen. So 1-2 the count. We'll see if the coach stays with the bunt, regardless of the third strike foul being an out. 1-2 the count. And a swing and a miss for the strikeout, but on the high pitch it gets back to the screen. So we get a strikeout for the out. The wild pitch back to the screen. And that's going to bring up Brewer. Brewer will step in with runners at second and third with 1 out now. One hopper to Burrows. It's going to be an error. You would expect to handle that short hop, but that's going to be a throwing error by Burrows on the fielder's choice.
It's up to DH number 26, Mike and Miller.
So the score will be 5-2 now. Swing and a miss by Miller. Miller's reached on an error and had a double. 0-1 the count. 5-2 now the score. Just misses a little bit outside. That's a pretty good looking pitch right there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bless you. Runners at the corners. 1 run in the inning to make it 5-2. That misses a little bit outside. Two balls, 1 strike. 5 runs on 4 hits by the Cavaliers. 2 runs on 5 hits by the Blue Devils. There's a strike, catches the outside corner, 2-2 the count. So both pins have activity going on in their respective bullpens. Comes the 2-2. Foul ball headed over the third base dugout. Dalton Smith warming up down for the Blue Devils. John Chambers getting ready down for the Cavaliers. That misses outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Comes the 3-2. Runner goes from first, and that fouls back by Mike Miller, the designated hitter. So Brewer back to first. Fleck over at third. Little toss over to first, back in safely is the first baseman, Dagan Brewer, for the Cavaliers. Foul ball did it down into the left field corner and deep but foul. About 15 people in the berm seats out on the hill in the outfield today. There's another foul ball headed down the left field line. So Miller has earned an extra pitch for about 3 straight pitches. So the 9th pitch of the at-bat ready to be thrown by Finley. Little toss over to first. Nothing going on over there. Fly ball headed over into left field. That's going to be into the workout area. Three balls, 2 strikes again. Tenth pitch of the at-bat coming. And a line drive into left field. That's going to score 1. So Miller with the RBI double into the left field corner.
That was their 5th run, correct?
6th run. So runners now at second and third for the catcher, Kilgore. We're going to get a pitching change. We'll take a break. We'll be back. We are in the top of the 5th, 7-inning scheduled game. Blue Devils trail 6-2. We'll be back after the pitching change. I don't say many bad things up here about kiddos. I don't know. Pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. Dalton Smith will come in. He's from Raymore, Missouri, just 6 miles up the road from me. He has a 2.25 ERA and a 3-1 record thus far on the season, so he will take over after 4 1/3 innings for Finley, and he will take over with 1 out and Cavaliers at second and third. So Finley will be responsible for those 2 runners. That would be Brewer and Miller. 1 out. Coming to the plate is Kilgore. Kilgore will step in. He's been called out on strikes and popped out right back on top of the big old KCK for an out. That's up a little bit high, 1-0 the count. Dalton Smith on in relief of McLean Finley, 1-0 the count. On the catcher, Cal Kilgore. Foul ball back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 6-2 the lead now for the Cavaliers. Comes the 1-1. Breaking ball catches the inside corner. Nice pitch right there. 1-2 the count. Cavaliers with 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 so far here in the fifth for a total of 6. Blue Devils with 2 in the fourth. Gets him with the high heater. So a strikeout at Kilgore, and that's going to bring up Edwards.
Next up, the right fielder, number 16, Riker Edwards.
Riker Edwards, the right fielder, he reached on an error and grounded out to third base, his 2 at-bats. Strike with that first pitch right there, 0-1 the count. That's up high, 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 on, 2 runs in so far in the inning. Cavaliers push their lead back out to 4. 6-2 the lead now. Swing and a miss of that heater right through there. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss of the high heater, and Dalton Smith comes in and gets back-to-back strikeouts. So do they call him the fireman? I don't know, but he put out the fire on that one. 2 strikeouts. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Blue Devils trailing 6-2 to the Johnson County Cavaliers. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Blue Devils are back to the top of the order with Basler, Golbeck, and Patterson. So, Tim McCallie, a little shout out to you. Got the pitcher's pop setting up here, helping me with my scoreboard today. I kind of like having that scoreboard, but it's something that I can't handle myself. Basler's been out in the air twice to the second baseman. There's a ball headed deep to right field, and that's going to be out of here. Basler with the leadoff home run. I guess that's kind of getting things started. That's going to make it a 6-3 game with the home run down the right field line. That gets just inside the pole, where in both corners it's a little bit more shallow, but that is a 6-3 home run. We're going to get a pitching change. We'll be back. I didn't know if you'd already seen it. Pitching change being made by the Cavaliers. John Chambers, number 36, will come in. He's from Blue Springs, Missouri, has a 3.56 ERA with a 4-1 record on the season. Tall righty comes to the mound for the Cavaliers. That's going to bring up Goldbeck. Goldbeck's been out on a fly to the center fielder and a strikeout. He'll step in now with the score 6-3. He'll be the first to face John Chambers. There's a strike, catches the top of the zone, inside part of the plate. That's low and inside, 1-1 the count. So 6-3 lead now after the leadoff home run by Peyton Basler. That's low and inside. Gehrig did all he could to get his legs as big around as he could for the hit by a pitch, but no luck. 2-1 the count. There's a foul ball down the left field side. There's a two-hopper to Brewer down at first, so a 3 unassisted ground out there. Brewer takes care of Goldbeck on that one, and that's going to bring up Brady Patterson.
Next up to catch number 32 is Brady Patterson.
Patterson will step in. He has back-to-back base hits. He had a base hit into left field his first time up, and his second time up, he shot one through the hole over there between Black and Fleck, and 1-0 the count on him. Patterson 2 for 2 so thus far on the day, hoping to keep that going right here. There's a strike, upper limits at the belt right down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out to the catcher Brady Patterson. That's outside. 2-1 the count. Comes the 2-1. Swing and a miss of that pitch. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Patterson. Misses outside, 3-2. McClure, Tisdale, Edwards and left to right across the outfield. Black, Fleck, Mosh, Brewer across the infield. Kilgore behind the plate with John Chambers on in relief of Borberg. Out in front of that one, whistles that by Coach Goldbeck down there at third base. So we'll do the 3-2 again. There's strike 3 called. That's going to bring up Santiago.
Next up at first baseman, number 26, Frankie Santiago.
Santiago steps in. He grounded out to first unassisted, then had a base hit to right field his first time. There's a strike, catches the inside corner. Santiago, switch hitter, batting left-handed versus the righty Chambers. There's a foul ball back to the screen so quickly. 0-2 the count on the first Santiago. Foul ball going to get back and out of play. So we'll do the 0-2 again. That's high and outside. One and two the count.
There's bottom.
We bat in the bottom.
Bottom of 5.
Yeah.
And swing and a miss, so change side you would need for bottom of the 5th.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
And the strikeout, so we get a home run and a pitching change and a ground out and a couple of strikeouts. We go now to the top of the 6th. Blue Devils trailing Johnson Cavaliers 6-3. I'll be back. It's a free class, though. All right, here we go to the top of the 6th inning. Dalton Smith came in and got a couple of strikeouts in the top of the 5th. He's back to the mound. He'll face Black, Tisdale, and presumably McClure. That's a little bit up. 1-0 the count. Black has grounded out to Basler at second and struck out on a foul tip held by Patterson. There's a foul ball headed down the right field line. That'll leave the premises and bounce down toward the woods. One and one the count. That's high and inside. 2-1 the count on Jordan Black, the third baseman, as he leads off the top of the 6th for the Cavaliers. There's a breaking ball, stays inside. I thought it was going to hit him till the break broke. 3-1 the count. There's a ball headed into right field. That's taken care of by Dirks. I thought that ball was going to go deeper than that. That was fortunate for us here. That's going to bring up Tisdale. Tisdale will step in to face Smith, who's on in relief of Finley. 1 out, nobody on. It's down low. 1-0 the count. Tisdale has grounded out to Basler at second and Burrows at third for a couple of ground outs. Swing and a miss of that pitch. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Patterson. 1-2 the count now. There's a ball headed into center field, and Kern takes care of that for the second out of the inning. Couple of flyouts, 1 to right and 1 to center. And back to the top of the order we go. Did a poor job of choosing a camera there. I apologize for that. McClure has grounded out twice, once on a diving play by Basler. There's a strike called in last inning. He led the inning off with a base hit to right field. A high fly ball to center field. And Kern takes care of that. So 3 fly balls, 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Blue Devils trailing 6-3. 7-inning scheduled game. All right, to the bottom half of the 6th inning we go. Nolan the 4th, Dirks and Martin scheduled up for the Blue Devils. John Chambers back for another inning of work for the Cavaliers. That misses a little bit low and not outside, but a little bit low. Pretty good looking pitch right there. I heard a come from the corner over here. 1-0 the count. That misses a little bit up. I thought that might be a strike at the top part of the zone. 2-0 the count on Nolan the 4th. He's been out on a fly and grounded out, but produced a run on that ground out. Fouls that one past Coach Goldbeck down at third, so 2-1 the count as he leads things off in the bottom of the 6th. Blue Devils got some work to do. They trail by 3. That stays up high. They're down to their last 6 outs in this one. So the ball headed over toward the foul territory and just behind the dugout and out of play. 3-2 the count on the left fielder, Freddie Nolan the 4th. He's from Fort Worth, Texas. Seems like I missed that today. There's a foul ball back and out of play. We'll do the 3-ball, 2-strike count again. Foul ball right back over the top of us again. That stays up high. So Nolan the 4th works a leadoff walk with some fouling off some 3-2 pitches, and that's going to bring up Dirks. Dirks has been out on a fly to left and had an RBI base hit to right and a stolen base as well. Swing and a miss of that heater right there. Oh, and 1 the count on the right fielder, Marcus Dirks. That's outside and high. 1-1 the count. It's a fly ball headed into left field. McClure comes in to take care of that. So that'll bring up Levi Martin. Martin will step in. Will step in with a runner at first base and one out now. Martin has struck out and reached on a base on balls. There's a strike. Breaking ball catches the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Nolan the fourth down. Burrows. Burrows will step in. 2 outs. Runner at first base. He's grounded out to short and been out on a fly to center field. He takes ball 1. Want to know the count on Burrows? There's a strike right at the belt, right down the middle. One and one the count. 2 outs, runner at first base. There's a strike right at the belt, right down the middle again. So 1-2 the count on Austin Burrows. Stays up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 6 runs on 5 hits for the Cavaliers, 3 runs on 6 hits, and 2 errors for the Blue Devils. There's strike 3 called right on the outside corner. So no runs on no hits for the Blue Devils. We go to the top of the 7th. First game of the doubleheader is a 7-inning scheduled game. So we go to the 7th. I'll be back. To the top of the 7th we go. Fleck, Mosh, and Brewer scheduled up for the Cavaliers. Smith back for another inning of work on the mound for the Blue Devils. Fleck has a couple of base hits. 2 for 3 on the day. Want to know the count on him? Ball stays outside, 2-0 the count. Two and 0 the count on Maddox Fleck. Foul ball into the screen. Number 2 hitter with a 2-0 count, swinging away on a good pitch, fouls it away. Just a little bit high. 3-1 the count. Comes the wind and the 3-1, and that's ball 4 inside. So the leadoff walk issued by Smith. Down to first goes Fleck.
Next up, the second baseman, number 37, Jack Mosh.
That'll bring up the second baseman, Mosh. Mosh will step in with nobody out and a runner at first base. Mosh has been out on a fly, walked, and struck out. Little toss over to first, nothing going on over there. Foul ball back and out of play. Oh and 1 is the count. Little toss over to first, Santiago with no tag attempt. Runner goes, and a ground ball. Goldbeck is going to be up with that. So the second time that they have had the runner going, and Goldbeck has taken a couple of bases or steps toward second, come back and made the play that time. So the runner moves to second base on the 6-3 ground out, and that's going to bring up Brewer. Dagan Brewer will step in. 1 out and a runner at second base. Ball off the glove. That's going to be a pass ball that Fleck moves to third. Just off the top of the glove. I thought the throw might get there in time, but not. Brewer has grounded out, walked, and reached on a fielder's choice, actually in air. There's a ball hitted right at Kern, and the sac fly by Brewer. So the sac fly scores the 7th run.
How many total hits does the other team have? Fix this up.
Back. There's a foul ball back to the screen. Micah Miller, the designated hitter, he's reached on an air, had 2 doubles. One unloaded the bases for 3 RBI, and then his next double had 1 RBI. 1-1 the count.
I saw Pallet Jack in the lobby. Is there not still one over there?
There's a strike called 1-2 the count. Comes the 1-2, a little bit low. 2 outs now with nobody on. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 7-3 lead. 1 run scored on the sac fly. That's up high. So 3-2 the count. It's inside for ball 4. So that'll bring up the catcher, Kilgore. Kilgore was called out on strikes in the second, popped out to Patterson, back by the back's low side of the logo. We're going to have a pinch runner. Number 18 will pinch run. That is Drew Veach. He's from Andover, Kansas. Runner at first base and 2 outs. Kilgore at the plate, nicely blocked by Patterson there. Want to know the count? The runner goes and is safe at second. So Miller with the stolen base. 7-3 the lead, 2-0 the count. Swing and a miss, 2-1 the count. On the catcher, Cal Kilgore. Smith would like to set him down right here. Runner goes.
Got him.
And they call him safe, and Coach Golbeck is going to come out and ask to speak to the umpire on that one. Coach Golbeck not happy with that one at all. Looked like he got him. Nonetheless, ruled safe at third, so 3-1 the count now. There's a check swing foul ball. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at third base. Is Veach.
Oh my God. Where's that at? Is that in?
I thought it was good.
Base on balls there. Looked pretty good, did that pitch right there, but ruled evidently inside. That's going to bring up Edwards, Riker Edwards, the right fielder. He's reached on an air, grounded out, and struck out. So runners at the corners. Coach Golbeck working to get the warning. I don't know if he's got it yet, but he's been in the ear on the umpire on that last call. So 2 outs, 2 on, 1 run in the inning. 7th inning scheduled game. There's a little nubber out front, and that's going to be a 2-3 ground out. So 1 run in on the sac fly by Brewer. We're going to go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Blue Devils trail by 4. They've got some work to do. Let's go, Blue Devils. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Blue Devils down to their last 3 outs. They trail 7-3. Kern, Basler, and Golbeck scheduled up. Kern has a double and a 6-3 ground out to Fleck at short.
I know, because there's not going to be mercies. No one's going to blow out.
There's a strike right through there. Kern steps in to lead things off for the Blue Devils. Then back to the top of the order, scheduled up Basler and Golbeck. There's strike called. That ball looked a little bit low, but ruled a strike. 0-2 is the count. And pretty good pitch right there, but I guess if the catcher can't catch it, it must not have been a strike. 1-2 the count. Comes the 1-2, stays up high, so 2-2 the count. Brady Kern, the number 9 hitter, the center fielder. Like to get him on base and get to the top of the order. Fouls that one away. That's headed down for the woods and into the woods. Brady Kern, the center fielder for the Blue Devils. Cavaliers leading 7-3. There's a ball headed into center field, and that's going to be taken right on the edge of my camera view, and the first out of the inning. So back to the top of the order, and Basler popped out to the second baseman twice, and his last at bat, he hit a solo home run. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. 0-1 the count on Basler. Blue Devils down to their last 2 outs in this one. There's a ball headed into right field, and that's going to be taken by Edwards for the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up Golbeck. Golbeck will step in with 2 outs, nobody on. Now the Blue Devils down to their last out. Golbeck 0 for 3 on the day with a fly out, a strikeout, and a ground out. Takes ball 1. 1-0 the count. In very tight on the plate is Golbeck. There's a strike outside half of the plate. 1-1 the count. Golbeck at the plate. There's a pump up toward the left side. Going out, and the left fielder, McClure, says he'll take care of that. So 3 flyouts, and the Cavaliers take the first game 7-3. We'll have the second one back in about 30 minutes. 25 to 30 minutes. We get that scoreboard cleared so we can get to the next game. The Blue Devils will be back with that game at about 25. The Cavaliers at Johnson take the first one 7-3. I'll be back with the second one. Thank you.